Welcome to Baylor University's Mayborn Museum Complex. Although this beautiful building, named in honor of Harry and Anna Jeans, is just a decade old, what you're going to see here today has a long and proud history. The Frank and Sue Mayborn Natural Science and Cultural History Museum Complex opened in 2004. It finally brought together in one location 3 separate entities, each with its own rich history. The university's Natural Science Museum dates back to 1893 and is well known as the Streker Museum. The Ollie Mayborn Discovery Center began in the early 1960s, bringing hands-on learning opportunities to school children of Central Texas. The Governor Bill and Vera Daniel Historic Village was moved all the way from Liberty, Texas to Waco in 1986. The Mayborn Museum Complex is well known for our very popular 17-themed hands-on discovery rooms. Originating as the Ollie Mayborn Discovery Center, which was located in downtown Waco, was greatly expanded upon our move here. Tens of thousands of children and their parents and grandparents enjoy this section every year. However, today's tour will focus on the Natural Science and Cultural History section, including our indoor and outdoor exhibits featuring the Streker Collection and the Governor Bill and Vera Daniel Historic Village.
The first exhibit in the Mayborn Museum Complex's Natural History section is named Streker's Cabinets of Curiosities. Many of the beloved artifacts from the Streker Museum's collections, such as the tree cross-section and a humpback whale skull, are on display. This room is patterned after the style of early natural history museums. At that time, museums often displayed unlabeled objects and specimens that were strange, odd, and curious. A wide variety of fascinating objects can be seen on the shelves and in the drawers of the Victorian-style cabinets. Many of these artifacts were donations to the museum from Baptist missionaries who served around the world. The next exhibit is Waco at the Crossroads of Texas. Sure to be a hit for all visitors are the Waco at the Crossroads of Texas natural history exhibits. From their first step into the Cretaceous Sea, with its 28-foot-long model of a plesiosaur, everyone will come to understand what makes Waco the Crossroads of Texas. This exhibit also features fossils of 2 ancient marine reptiles, a pliosaur and a plesiosaur, both found around the Waco area. This is the Hall of Natural History. In addition to this imposing fossil of an ancient marine turtle found near Golson, Texas in 1971, it features dioramas representing different regional areas in Texas, including the White Rock Escarpment, Blackland Prairie, and forest insects. Along the Crossroads journey, made up of traditional and walk-in dioramas as well as exploration stations, this interactive experience guides visitors through the natural science and cultural history of Central Texas. Walk-in dioramas include a limestone cave, a Texas forest, and the Waco Mammoth Site experience. Did you know that Texas has more caves than any other state? Here you can learn facts about caves in the Balcones Fault Zone in the Texas Cave exhibit. Watch out for the bobcat. Enter the Texas forest and see replicas of indigenous piney woods creatures, among them a great horned owl, a wild turkey, and a mountain lion. The Waco Mammoth Site exhibit at the Mayborn Museum offers visitors an additional way to experience the internationally known Waco Mammoth Site. Guests can walk on a glass floor to look down upon a full-scale replica of the Columbian mammoth bones displayed exactly as they were unearthed at the Waco Mammoth Site just 5 miles from the Baylor campus. Continue your journey through time in the Texas Lifeways exhibit, which includes 4 types of homes that were found in central Texas in the early 1800s. A Waco Indian grass house, a Norwegian rock house, a Comanche teepee, and a log house.
We are now standing in the Donor Story exhibit that serves as an introduction to the Governor Bill and Vera Daniel Historic Village. Governor Bill Daniel was the governor of Guam during the 1960s, as well as a lawyer, a politician, and a Baylor alum. The Daniel family donated the historic village to Baylor University in 1985. The structures were relocated from Liberty, Texas to Baylor's main campus in 1986, where they now reside along the banks of the Brazos River as part of the Mayborn Museum complex. We wanted to pay homage to this larger-than-life donor and his family in this exhibit, so we used technology to tell the story. This interactive kiosk gives detailed information about the life of Governor Bill Daniel and his family. In this room, you can also take a virtual tour of the historic village on another interactive kiosk. This is perfect for days with inclement weather, if you're unable to go outside, or if you just want to learn more.
We're now on the back porch of the museum, and behind me is the Governor Bill and Vera Daniel Historic Village, which was donated to Baylor University by the Daniel family. The historic village reopened on May 12, 2012 after undergoing a 2-year revitalization. As we just saw, in the main museum building, we have a Waco grass house, a log house, a Comanche teepee, and a Norwegian rock house. These were common dwellings one might find in central Texas in the mid-1800s. As time progressed, we saw the advent of the railroads and modern technology bringing change to our community. And as we continue outside into the historic village, we find 9 wood frame buildings that show how people lived in the late 19th century. The buildings contain information on how each was important to everyday life in the 1890s, and audio tours are provided for your listening pleasure. The many artifacts on exhibit, including a few carriages from the Daniel collection, will give you a glimpse into the daily tasks and common joys of our ancestors. Try your hand at pumping water, practice the alphabet in the school, and ring the church bell after you play on the piano that was made in 1901. The historic village is entirely wheelchair and stroller accessible, and besides being a great educational experience, it's a great place to come, relax on a park bench, and just enjoy the view.
Although Baylor University had a law school by 1857, the vast majority of lawyers from the 1890s never attended a law school. They studied with other lawyers or simply read the state statutes while serving in a county office for some time. A lawyer of this time period received a license by an examination before the circuit judge. Most lawyers simply eked out a living by notarizing documents, probating wills, making land transactions, and defending criminal cases. Among the new additions during the recent revitalization was the creation of this carriage house designed to display 19th century horse-drawn conveyances, including a hearse, ambulance, and doctor's buggy. Imagine what life must have been like before the invention of automobiles. During the late 19th century, the commissary or general store served as the hub of town activity, acting as post office, bank, polling place, and stagecoach stop, as well as a shopping center. It was a place for socializing as much as it was for commerce. Taking a game of corncob checkers while you're here. In the 1890s, children often traveled many miles across rough terrain to reach what was, in many rural areas, a one-room schoolhouse. Often the school year was geared to the local farming seasons, with a school year of 4 months, usually after cotton picking season. Students who attended the local school learned the subjects of reading, spelling, grammar, penmanship, and arithmetic. They showed their mastery of skills by participating in spelling bees and blackboard games. Barns are the largest tool on any farm. They were designed both for efficiency in use and economy in construction. This multi-purpose building provided shelter for animals, storage for grains, and protection of farming equipment from the elements. A barn often has pens of varying shapes and sizes used to shelter large and small animals. A blacksmith shapes iron using fire, a forge, an anvil, and a hammer. Because of his skills, the blacksmith was usually a well-respected and much-needed member of the community. Most rural communities depended upon a blacksmith to mend plowshares and other farm implements, repair wagon wheels, and shoe horses. Some blacksmiths even advertised other services such as pulling teeth and building coffins. Landowners enjoyed positions of authority in their communities, and the wealth that these men gained allowed them to live in greater style than their tenant neighbors. Landowners' homes were large with multiple specialized rooms. The family may have a room reserved for dining or to socialize with guests. The family's children would occupy their own sleeping chambers, separate from their parents. This structure is an example of a dog trot style house, much used by frontier settlers, and consisted of a one-story structure with 2 wings separated by an open breezeway or dog trot. Developed in response to the warm climate, the combination of the breezeway and open windows in the house created currents which pulled cooler outside air into the living quarters. This design created an early form of air conditioning. The landowners provided tenants with a parcel of land, a small house, and sometimes a mule. The tenants agreed to farm the land in exchange for rent in the form of half the year's crop. Nothing on the farm was wasted. Clothing was passed down from oldest to youngest, and when it was no longer useful for its original purpose, it could be used to make curtains or quilts. Space was also limited in the house. Parents and children often slept in the same room or out on the porch. Before you leave the tenant's house, try scrubbing the laundry on the washboard and hanging it out to dry. Many homes in the 1890s made use of an outdoor kitchen like this one. Because many houses of this time were constructed from wood, the threat of a house fire from an attached kitchen was great. For many, the solution was to build a kitchen several yards away from the main house. Households that could afford to employ a full-time cook frequently provided housing for the cook in the kitchen, which was sometimes called the cook's house. A mattress to sleep on would be placed on the floor in the evening and folded away during the day. In the late 19th century, many isolated farming towns would only have one community building. Several different denominations may share the church as a meeting house, rotating services between the different groups. Often the preacher rode a circuit on horseback and attended to the spiritual needs of several communities in a geographic area. If a congregation were lucky, a pump organ or piano may have been used to help with the melody. Hymns from the 1890s are provided, so come and play them on the piano that is more than 100 years old. You may even recognize the tune.
Throughout the year, Baylor University's Mayborn Museum Complex offers a wide array of programs and special events for visitors of all ages. In addition, special traveling exhibits are featured every summer. One visit just isn't enough, so visit often to engage, explore, and enjoy.